Speaking of point guards, though,
See why you wanted to end with this one, or end the NBA segment with this one.
gotta end on the biggest topic. So there's this player that we've talked about a few times, and he's a point guard, but he's kind of like a forward too.
Jaden McDaniels.
Karl Anthony Towns. Well,
Jaden McDaniels grew, and Anthony Edwards grew. Both of them
that's
grew.
what happens when Anthony Davis grew huge as well when after he got drafted. Like, these guys are getting drafted at 18 and 19. Like,
Yeah, they're still growing.
Some of them have 6 years left of growing. But anyway, Ben Simmons, the Sixers apparently as a team, we're all going to go visit him to have a discussion.
Sure, it was like the big names, Morey, Doc Rivers.
They were going to have Embiid.
Not Embiid. Really? That's not a good choice. He does not like Embiid.
Well, and I mean, Embiid doesn't seem to really like him either. Anyway, there's, if you want to listen to the discussions on like what Embiid has said recently, go ahead and watch like The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and whatever. Go ahead and watch Shannon on Undisputed. They've talked about what Embiid said. We don't need to cover that.
Right.
But Ben Simmons said, no, don't come see me.
Don't bother.
If you show up, I won't answer the door.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, people are saying that the Sixers are still going to play hardball and not trade him and wait for him to come in. Like, he's not playing.
Yeah, he said he's willing to like sacrifice the 33 mil.
Yeah, he said it's just 33 million. He said, what is money?
We'll take it.
I mean, so what have we said? The longer they wait, the less his value goes. So now, like last week, we talked about how Embiid talked bad about him. That lowered the value. Doc Rivers talked bad about him. That lowered the value. He didn't show out in the playoffs. That lowered the value. And now he says he won't play at all.
Right.
That lowered the value.
He's not showing up to camp. That's lowering the value.
And we know he has a bad relationship with his team. So you went from being able to trade Dame Lillard or James Harden for him.
Or CJ McCollum. Like, he could have got McCollum.
Another thing to add on to this, Daryl Morey said, if you want Ben Simmons, we aren't interested in first round picks.
But I thought they were.
Nope, because they don't want to be rebuilding. They want players because they want to still be in the playoffs.
Right.
So in other words, that was him saying, if you're the Timberwolves, we get Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
If you're the Warriors, we get Wiggins and Wiseman.
Yeah.
If you're the Trailblazers, we get Lillard or we get McCollum and Nurkic.
Right.
He basically said, we're not interested in first round picks. Picks mean nothing to us. And it's like, I get it. I 100% I get it. You want to still be in the playoffs, but repackage those picks then, because the teams that can afford to get him now,
then bring in a third team. Yeah.
Absolutely, because teams that can afford him or that would get him now aren't willing to give you their players because they know he's not worth it.
Right.
They know he's fine not playing.
But you're not going to get an all-star. You're not going to get an all-star for him. Not anymore.
You could have, if you could have all the way up until the playoffs were over, and then Embiid talked, Doc talked, and now he's sitting out.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much more to say other than his value is tanked.
Yeah,
just tanked.
Exactly.
And
you got to make your players feel welcome, and they just alienate. And
we had people on Twitter and YouTube say that we were dumb for our Taurine Prince, Malik Beasley, Josh Okogie, 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Honestly, that might be the best deal they can get.
Yeah.
But they don't want first round picks. So take out the first and seconds. That might be the best you can get.
Yeah.
There's like Ben Simmons is going to sit out and not get paid. And, I'm like we mentioned last time, the CBA is going to get redone. The owners are going to opt out to stop this because they're clearly going to be sick of it. But for the moment, while the players can do it, I'm just going to be all for supporting that. I mean, if Karl Anthony Towns said he wants to redo his max, like he wants to redo a max contract right now and give me 5 more years on a super max, cancel the deal now. Otherwise, I'm sitting out. Do it.
Yeah.
I don't want the players to have ultimate power, but I also want players to make sure that they feel welcome and feel like they're getting what they're worth.
Yeah, and even like we said last week, to make them feel like they're valued part of the team. That's why we said like bring in Cat and D'Lo to make these like personnel decisions.
Right. And so we mentioned that, like I mentioned, I don't really want to talk about Dallas Cowboys, but to bring up a couple, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, DeMarcus Lawrence are all overpaid right now.
Yeah.
But you're not paying them only for what they're going to do because of how destroyed rookie contracts are in the NFL. You're also you're making up. That's why Ezekiel Elliott sat out for the training camp stuff. Like, you make up for those first 4 years where he was the top running back in the NFL and you weren't paying him. You were paying him peanuts.
Yeah.
Like that's just
and you got to
issue.
think. You got to think. You know, how many of those jerseys in the stands are
When
Prescott jerseys,
players get
Elliott
like,
jerseys,
players
Lawrence,
get like
Cooper.
50 cents on every jersey that sells. Pat McAfee always talked about that. He's like, they'd get a check and he'd be like, ooh, yeah, $150 after a whole year. That's one jersey.
Right.
Like,
but how much are the teams making off those?
And so,
you know,
they bought tickets, they bought concessions.
Yeah.
Because they want to come see that player. Like,
they
want to come. You had like, there's a lot of Philadelphia fans that are really mad at Ben Simmons right now. It's like, well,
there's just a lot of Philadelphia fans that are really mad. You even have to say
that's the stereotype of Philly fans. Is like it's Florida man and Philly fan. I told my wife the other day that those are like the two big stereotypes that I know on the internet are Florida.
And all
man
those
and Philly fan.
all those start off with just an amazing story at some point, whether it starts with Florida man or Philly fan.
Right. Yeah. You can probably type in Philly fan in your birthday and find something similar to like Florida man your birthday. It's just. So there's a lot of Philly fans that are mad at Ben Simmons. And it's like, you're paying him for what he gave you. He brought you to the playoffs, but then he was disrespected. Yeah, I don't think that he necessarily makes the Timberwolves a championship favorite, adding them right now and losing players like Beasley and Prince and stuff. I think that obviously makes them a playoff, like contender for sure.
Yeah.
But to give up somebody like D'Lo or Anthony Edwards or Cat, Simmons isn't the type of player that's going to really advance them really far into the playoffs.
And like where the Timberwolves are sitting right now, that second half of the season, we could compete with anybody because we didn't play any defense, but we had the offensive powerhouse to compete.
They also
with anybody.
swept the number one seed.
Yeah. So
they were 4-0 against the Jazz.
Yeah, who had the defensive player of the year? So
which we don't need to talk about that. I mentioned it when he won it. Rudy Gobert was not the defensive player of the year. Yeah, he gets it off of his name recognition. He's not the defensive player of the year.
So right now you're looking at the Wolves, and we've got the offensive powerhouse to really compete with anybody.
But again, if they don't want first, they don't want picks. Yeah, move on. If you're the Wolves, if they don't want this stuff, move on. Go get Miles Turner and move Cat to the 4, and I guarantee that's about as much success.
Our small forward is our small forward's gonna be 6'10". Our center is going to be 6'11", and our power forward is going to be 7 foot. So
yeah, and one of them plays really good defense. So
yeah, well, Jaden's there. Jaden's 6'10", and so he's a small. I don't know. He's
young. See, he's young. I'll give him some time before I say he's a great defender.
He's a good defender,
right? Good defender. But like Okogie and Turner are what I think of when I think like a great defensive player. I don't think we have anybody else on the team that would list there. Pat Bev now. Pat Bev's a great defender. Yeah. When he wants to be. But yeah, I think that's it for our basketball talk. Anyway, Ben Simmons doesn't want to play and he's willing to sit out. So move him. And now his value's at an all-time low. And it won't get any better. So best of luck. If you don't trade him, I hope if the Wolves don't get him, I hope he finds somewhere where he's happy at least. Yeah. I just want him I hope he doesn't go to, I don't know, like OKC or Cleveland or something. OKC, you know what I mean? Orlando. You know, I would love
Cleveland.
I think he would be I've said it I think he would be amazing on the Nuggets. Yeah, it's the Western Conference, so we'd have to go up against him more, so it would suck.
It's already our division too. So.
But I really think he would be an awesome fit on the Nuggets, and I really hope he can find a way either on the Nuggets or maybe Kristaps Porzingis for Simmons. You still get a player that you want, but the Mavericks,
Spurs too.
Spurs, I don't know if they have what it takes to get him, right?
But I think what the Sixers want, be a great fit. Yeah.
But the Nuggets and the Mavs, there are teams that he would be a great fit on. So it would be awesome to see him go somewhere. There's Sacramento, I've heard he wants. Figure it out, please. Maybe Marvin Bagley, Buddy Hield for Ben Simmons. I don't know.
Halliburton, maybe.
But you could probably keep Halliburton though.
Fox, those are the names they'd want.
Fox. I think it would be Bagley and Hield because that works for contract. Bagley, you have potential, and Hield, I don't know. True. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he finds happiness, success. I want every player to be happy. That's why when I heard that Cat was unhappy, I said go ahead and leave. Like I want to keep players that want to be here, and I want to make sure players are happy because a player that's unhappy doesn't play well.
Right.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was super happy against the Niners. They won. Aaron Rodgers was super unhappy going into week 1 and they got demolished.
Yeah, got benched.
Yeah, like it's
So.
when a player, its emotion is so big.
Oh yeah,
And I want to see the best competition. I want to beat every team when they're at their best. I don't want to beat the Warriors without Clay. I don't want the that means nothing. I want to beat the Nuggets. Like if the Nuggets got swept in the first round, it's almost a good thing because they were missing half their team. The fact that they got as far as they did was amazing.
Right.
Anyway,
I mean the Clippers too. Clippers got Kawhi.
Yeah, Clippers. How boring is that?
All the offense goes through one player. It has
Lakers lost LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
It's so. I'm not interested in watching injured players. That's
Harden, Kyrie, the same thing.
Imagine watching the Nets at full power in the playoffs against who's
Suns.
The Suns full power, or the Lakers at full health. Or the Warriors at full health. Like, could you imagine the KD, Steph, revenge? Like, it could have been so amazing. And if now people are like, oh yeah, but the Bucks only won because the Nets were hurt, and the Bucks only won because Cam Reddish was out and they're a key rotational player for the Hawks. And the Bucks only beat the Suns.
There's so many excuses you can make, but at the same time, like
they had to get where they got.
Yeah.
So, We'll end the NBA discussion there. We're going to get into the NFL, and that'll be it for sports after that.